Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So today we are here for my post-season special called Let's Look Back. I do this for every season, and pretty much in this video we do talk about some of the theories that were brought up before the season aired and what the outcome of those theories actually were in the show, if they were proven or disproven. And I also talk about some of the things that I liked and disliked about the season. So yes, I've already posted a review on this season, but this is more formal, and I also do talk about theories and if they've been proven or disproven. So yeah, let's get started. We're going to talk about theories first. So one of the biggest theories leading up to the season was that Garmadon's arc would conclude by the end of the season. It made sense, honestly. I mean, it's the end of the Oni trilogy. It makes sense to conclude Garmadon's arc. I mean, Garmadon has been a key part throughout this trilogy. And actually, this was disproven. It didn't actually happen. At the end of the season, Garmadon's arc is actually the only thing, really, that is left open-ended at the end of the season. And if anything, I kind of think that his development throughout the season was more of a setup for something more to come in the next season. But yeah, a lot of people were kind of expecting Garmadon to die or turn good. I myself was really thinking he would turn good, but actually no, it didn't happen. So that was totally disproven, and definitely it was different than what we had expected. We had learned about the yin-yang proposal. It was actually the very first thing that we had learned about Season 10 last summer on the San Diego Comic-Con, and many of us were theorizing that Nia would accept Jay's proposal, and this was proven to be true. To be honest, I don't really see what they would have done otherwise. I mean, just have her reject Jay. It didn't really fit with the season either, so that was one thing. So it did definitely make a lot of sense for her to accept Jay's proposal, I mean. So yeah, that was a proven theory. So this isn't really a unique theory anymore. Before every season, pretty much, people are always theorizing the return of Golden Powers and Overlord. So big surprise, this didn't happen in this season. So yeah, that's honestly not that surprising. I think people were thrown off by the Legacy sets. Many people were thinking that they were actually Season 10 sets. And no, they had nothing to do with Season 10, except for the Monastery set, really. So yeah, these sets really had nothing to do with that. And a lot of people were thrown off by that and did expect the Golden Powers to return, because we did get a Golden Lloyd minifigure, we did get a new Overlord minifigure. So a lot of people thought it would make sense for the Overlord to be the Oni leader. I think it does make sense, but it wasn't really going to happen. I mean, the Legacy sets have no correlation with Season 10. So yeah, this was, as usual, this didn't happen. So the ninja narrating the intro was actually Cole, and this was very surprising, and a lot of people were thinking that, oh, Cole's going to be the focus ninja, he's going to have a large role in this season. And I think this is kind of my own opinion. I do think that Cole had one of the larger roles in this season, as opposed to some of the other ninja. He just had a little bit more to do from that first episode where he got grabbed by the Oni, and then in episode 97 and 98 with his own story and his fall. I think he had more to do than the other ninja, and I think Lloyd also had a big role in this season. But was Cole the focus ninja? No, not really. I do think that Cole did have a bigger role than other ninja in this season, but that is definitely debatable, so let me know what you guys think of that. Did Cole have a big role in this season? So those were some of the theories that were brought up before the season aired, and yeah, it looks like some of them were disproven and some of them ended up being proven. But yeah, now we're going to talk about some of the things that I liked about this season. I mentioned this in yesterday's video, but I think Garmadon was done really well in this season, and even though his arc wasn't concluded, I think it is a setup for Season 11 or the next season, and I really hope it is a setup, because I would hate to see all this development in this season go nowhere. But yeah, I do think Garmadon was really cool in this season. Yes, he was brought back evil, but he struggled with his emotions a lot in this season, and even especially in episode 97 when he looks at those old images and asks about the meaning of life. Yeah, I really liked him kind of just trying to find his place in all of this. And he was, the old Emperor of Ninjago, and he still is technically evil, but he's still trying to figure out, who is he really? He's trying to figure out that. And I think Garmadon battling with his emotions in this season and caring about survival, but at the same time learning new things as well, was done really well in this season. But again, they didn't conclude his arc, and I really just hope that it is a setup for a future season, because I would love to see this development continue in the next season. I've also mentioned this a lot, but I really think that as a 10th season, this season really nailed the references, and it was a very nostalgic season for many reasons. There are a lot of small touches, such as Kai doing the hand motion in episode 96, and, Kai wearing the blacksmith suit, but there are much more obvious references as well, such as the golden weapons and the tornado of creation, And I really love that everything kind of is coming full circle. It was a great season in the sense that it did honor the past seasons, especially even with that intro. The intro was really cool for the season, by the way. And I really felt like this season did a lot to like kind of reference the old Ninjago seasons and show us how far as a community, as a TV show, and show us how far the ninja have really come since that very first episode of Ninjago. And I think it did this really well. As a 10th season, as a milestone 10th season, and even the 100th episode, it did an amazing job as for, getting those references, referencing old seasons, and being the nostalgia factor was definitely there. So those were some things that I did enjoy about the season. Now we're going to talk about things that weren't done so well. I think the majority of people will agree with me when I say this, but this season was way too rushed. Again, I understand why they wanted to make it 4 episodes, but I really think that this was a poor decision on the producer's part to just make it 4 episodes. All it needed really was 2 more episodes. It could have been a 6-episode season or the normal 10 episodes, and I think this season would have been amazing. I just felt like it was way too rushed. Episode 98 was really rushed, and let's face it, we all knew that the finale would kind of be a explanation. They would have some explaining to do, really, and that's kind of what ended up happening. We're still left puzzled over what happened in the finale of March of the Oni, and we still want some explanations. I feel like episodes 98 and 95 in particular were really rushed, and I think this is definitely because the season was really short. This doesn't really work. March of the Oni doesn't really work as a season, but I think watching it as a special will definitely make it better. I don't think this is necessarily a con, but this is definitely something that could have been done better. Omega is sadly my least favorite Ninjago villain as of now, and it's not because he's a bad villain, it's because he's an underdeveloped villain. I really would have liked to have seen some backstory for him, how he rose up to power, is he an Oni warlord, who exactly he is. And I don't feel like there are any traits that really made him any different than any of the other Oni. Except for, of course, he kind of did have a lot of interactions with Garmadon throughout the season, and that was very cool. I feel like this will definitely help Garmadon's character later on in the series. But other than that, I think Omega really could have been done better. Just maybe more to distinguish him from other Oni. He has big horns, and that's kind of it, really. Other than that, he looks exactly the same as other Oni. But I will say, the Omega Oni really had a great on-screen presence, very intimidating, and he looked amazing visually. Again, this isn't really a con, but this is something that definitely should have been done better, or shouldn't have been in the season at all. I don't think the Jay and Nia story even had a place in this season, and it only really had like 5 minutes of screen time in the total special, or something like that, but it did not have a place in the season at all. It's not like we haven't seen any Jay and Nia interactions. We had a whole season based off of that. Another thing that didn't really help this story was overhype, and overhype can certainly be a problem in the Ninjago community. This was the first thing that was revealed about Season 10, and that had people thinking that there would be more about this relationship. It would be a central story throughout the season, like Jay turns evil and Nia wants to rescue him, or something like that. And no, that didn't really happen at all. In fact, there was no action or emotion behind this at all, and maybe that's for the better. Not everything has to be some crazy emotion-driven story. Some things are just more realistic, but I don't really think this had a place in the season. Again, even though it is a little bit more realistic, not every proposal is going to be like someone turning evil or losing their love or something. But then again, this is a TV show, and overhype again can be a problem. And I don't think that really helped this story. I don't think it was very charming, it was very cute to see this story, especially Jay's proposal. It was really cute, but it felt very cliched, especially with Jay, about to ask Nia out in episode 96, but then Garmadon comes and he procrastinates it. Yeah, that felt very cliched to me, and I felt like this arc could have been done better, or it just shouldn't have been this season at all. So these are my formal thoughts on Season 10, March of the Oni. Again, I've said this yesterday, but it isn't the best season. It's really suffered from being too short, and all it really needed, I think, was 2 more episodes maybe. Just explain a little bit more backstory and how to defeat the Oni, really, rather than just doing a move that they learned in the pilots. And I think the season would have been much better. But that being said, it's not a bad season. It just could have been done better, I think. But yeah, these are my thoughts on March of the Oni. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment sections below explaining what you thought of March of the Oni. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, share with anyone ever you know, and I will see you next time.